Yes, y'all. Welcome into episode 100. Triple digits, bitches.
100.
We made it. We made it. Obviously, we're here. It's Saturday. It's your favorite brunch bunch. Best four-man booth in the business. We're going to do something a little bit different this week because, a little peel the curtain. We're not killing kayfabe on the show, but we're definitely exposing stuff right now. We went on a little beer run last weekend for Drink of the Week segments because we were all out, and the skinny bearded fella up there on to my right, your left, decided to find a beer that we're gonna drink first because I think it'll make the show a little bit better and add some entertainment value, especially with Jason and. Well, mostly Jason, because So
I'm not being shirtless.
Why don't you explain why we're drinking this beer to start the show?
So when we go to the brewer or to the distributor, I'm either going for what the bottle looks like or highest alcohol volume. And these guys found the 15, so I said, "Hey, what the hell? We're getting it." I don't even like blueberry, but everybody else does. So we have the
15.
15. If you can find anything higher, let me know.
Yeah. Please let us know because this is by far the highest alcohol content beer we've done on the show.
I think the last was 12.
I think 12 was the last one that we had, like eyes wise.
Yeah. I think I still got that in the fridge.
Yeah. So this is the Exit 3 blueberry something honey ale.
Braggot.
Yeah, brewed with blueberries. 15% alcohol by volume. It features local blueberries and honey and a limited amount of hops. So first off, thank you, because I'm not a hops guy. So this is right up my alley. Chris, hold that cup up again. looks like a a typical brown ale.
More like lager, close up lager-ish, a little hazy. So I'm guessing that's the honey,
Yeah.
So
This is Flying Fish Brewing Company. Have we had anything from there yet?
I had flying fish before.
yeah, we've had flying fish.
Okay.
Ooh, man.
Hey, listen, if the beer's not good, the rest of the show will be very interesting because once this 15% kicks in, it is going to be game over for your boys.
Things are about to get real interesting on this show.
And thanks to Jason for just chucking me back into the ocean. I haven't had a drink in 5 weeks because of COVID and just not feeling like myself. So first beer back. Hey, here's a 15% for you. Nothing like getting dropped in there. As Mike Tomlin would say, out there getting varsity reps.
You're straight back in.
We're not JV. We're putting you out there. You're getting varsity reps.
So. Right back into the weight room. Got to build you up.
You're gonna take a sip and get buzzed off this shit.
I'm gonna be drunk just smelling it.
Man, it would be being a lightweight too. Man, this is bad.
Man, I can't wait to see what this episode is like.
All right, number one rule, right? These are extremely dangerous. Not only are they 15% alcohol,
Holy
but
shit!
you don't get
Holy
punched in
shit.
the face with alcohol content.
Yeah.
Like that is a very smooth.
Did you finish that?
Yes, he chugged that shit.
He chugged it.
Going big, my eyes watering.
Oh,
Jason
man.
came to play. We're gonna find out how he really feels about all of us today. Fuck you!
I know
fuck you! Fuck you!
That hodgepodge of nothingness doesn't just describe the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's going to describe Jason by the end of the show because he's going to be just a sloppy drunk mess of nothingness. Yo, this is good.
This is good.
Like,
These blueberries.
This is good.
Yeah, I get the blueberry.
I get the blueberries.
It's
For 15%, I don't get that.
It's very faint, but I do get the blueberries.
There's a slight burn from that 15%, but
Oh yes, I can feel that.
it's not as heavy as I expected it to be. I'll say that.
No, not at all.
I don't know if the honey kind of calms that down, but
Oh, I can feel the burn.
I'm not a blueberry guy, but I definitely drink it.
Oh, I like this. I like this a lot.
We're gonna be
and the 6-pack was it a 6-pack or 4-pack?
4.
So 4-pack was $15, so it's $1 per 1% of alcohol.
That's all this was $15 for a
15.
4-pack.
Yeah,
15.
Wow.
yeah.
Let's not talk about that HWO.
We'll bring that up.
We'll bring that up when we get there.
Yeah.
That was that 450 was like $38 for a 4-pack too.
Yeah. Hey, listen. All seriousness.
Oh man.
If you guys are out and about and you have this near you, pick it up. A 4-pack. I don't suggest drinking the 4-pack.
Yeah.
But hey,
You
do you. This is. I'm gonna put this up there as one of my favorites, just because of how good the taste and the drinkability is for it being such a high alcohol content of beer. I'll go with a 4. All day 4.
Yeah, I'm going with a 4 too. I like the taste. Very, very smooth for a big punch like this. Definite 4.
45.
Go fever. You going with a 5 with a fever?
No, 3.5.
Oh, 3.5.
Okay, I like
I
that.
didn't hear the 3.
Oh yeah, no.
All right, 3.
Pad the stats for all my beers. 5s.
Ain't mad at it. Chris, what you got?
I think I'm gonna throw it up too. I'm gonna go 4. I wish I could taste the blueberries a little bit more. I'm not getting that, but the honey, for being 15% and not overpowering with that burn. I'd drink more of this, and woo, it's gonna be a good show today, fellas.
Yeah, this is, man, well done.
Yes.
Exit 3 blueberry Braggot honey ale brewed with blueberries. Flying fish.
Definitely good find. Definitely.
Home run.
Kicked off this round good.
All right. Now that we have that out of the way,
What's going on?
what's up, Nathan? Now that we have that out of the way, intro wise, what do we got? Where we stand? How we living? How's everybody feeling? Everybody have a good week?
Yep.
All right.
Good.
So, my son got his wisdom teeth pulled on Thursday.
Oh, jeez.
Ooh, I remember that feeling.
Me too.
Yeah. So, we all seen the videos of people on the internet, getting their wisdom teeth pulled and saying funny shit or doing crazy things, whatever the case may be. My boy woke up and thought he was Flash. He wanted to just run. He was like, I'm light as a feather. They had to grab him to keep him from running through the dentist's office, through the oral surgeon's office. So my wife gets him in the car and they're coming home, and she calls me just laughing hysterically because he's just can't feel nothing, trying to talk with all the gauze in his mouth, asking her if he still has a tongue, all the, just the shit. So then he texts me, and this is where I don't know why he was thinking this or whatnot, but I wanted to grab the actual words here. So he goes, if Medusa's hair is snakes. So right away, I'm already like, this dude, does that mean all hair on her body is snakes? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Yeah, so exactly, Chris. I was at work. How do I respond to this right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he put, my mouth feels like putty when I touch it. And I replied back with, that's what she said. And it was just game over. But yeah, so if Medusa's hair is snakes, does that mean all hair on her body is snakes?
Just say yes.
Yeah. So he hasn't eaten solid food in 2 days. He's just miserable, angry because he can't eat. Been drinking smoothies galore, but yeah. So that was my Thursday. So
You two still in the same boat?
With what?
Drinking smoothies or using salt?
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah.
Did he get all 4 taken out, or?
Yeah, all 4 taken out.
Ooh, at one time too.
Yep.
Oh, that's why you gotta do it.
Yeah.
You don't need to go back in twice.
I had 2 sessions.
Yeah,
Lightweight.
So he
Insurance.
Yeah. So that was my little excitement, fun times for the week. Just listening to him and watching him for those first couple hours after he came to. But yeah, it was like she's like, "Wait, he got up trying to run. Like he was an Olympic sprinter." Like, hey. So that's where I was at. Anything else? I got a couple quick topics.
6.
Wise man.
Yep. There's
Yeah.
And then as the Novocaine wore off, he got more mad because like his bottom lip and his tongue were the last things to get filling back. But he was bitching about how human evolution hasn't progressed fast enough to where wisdom teeth no longer are needed. Like, you don't sit your Darwinism ass down. Like, go lay down. Yeah. He's like, they're not even, they're pointless. Why do we even have them? I'm like, well, I don't know. Go watch X-Men. They'll explain it to you. Oh, man. But, yeah. So, the couple quick things that I saw intro-wise, as far as entertainment goes, John Wick, there's a John Wick prequel series called The Continental that will be exploring the origin story and inner workings of the exclusive Continental Hotel. It is coming in 2023 to Peacock. Don't have any more information on it. Not sure who's going to be cast in it. But as a fan of the John Wick series, I mean, those movies are what they are. We all know what we're getting with them. They're awesome.
Yes, they
typical, just blowing shit up, shooting people, excitement that guys like.
If you're going to do a movie for dialogue, you are not going to see John Wick.
Who'd you say was doing it up?
What's that?
Who'd you say was doing it?
Peacock. It's going to be on Peacock.
Okay.
It was supposed to be on Stars, and then they announced this week it's moving to Peacock.
You think they're going to go full John Wick?
So I don't know if
comments.
No, I don't think so. No, because spoiler in the movie, they don't. You know, you're not supposed to fight in the hotel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just going in the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, step outside.
But it's about the hotel now.
Right. So I mean, I think it'll be dope. I'll definitely tune in to watch it just because I'm a fan of the series. It's the series of movies themselves. And then I saw the official teaser for Wednesday. The Addams Family Netflix series came out this week. Catherine Zeta-Jones cast to play Morticia. Excellent choice. Gomez casted as well. I think that'll work really well. But this will be interesting where this goes because it's focusing all about Wednesday, so it's not really an Addams Family spinoff. But I like what I saw from the trailer. I'll tune in and watch it.
Is Ricci in this at all? Christina Ricci in this at all?
I don't know if she's gonna be or not. I thought I saw her being cast to play Wednesday in something else, or maybe it was this. But from the trailer, they didn't give away anything like that. So it's mostly showing a little bit how they come back to the Addams Family house and stuff like that. So
definitely for our generation, she's Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. 1,000%.
Yeah,
played that role so good.
Yeah, and then on the gaming front, this will tie into Drink of the Week that we did to start off the show. Assassin's Creed is getting its own whiskey for its 15th anniversary. So Anthem Studios will release the special edition straight bourbon in August. I haven't been able to find it, so I'm not sure. August is damn near almost over, so who knows? But it's a spiced rum with a spiced rum and vodka coming later in September. So we're going to get a whiskey, a rum, and a vodka.
Interesting.
The label looks dope. It got the Yeah, the label looks hard. I might just buy it just for the sheer collectability factor of having the bottle after I drink the whiskey. But yeah, if I can find that, pick it up. If anybody sees it out or know where it's at, hit us up on social media and let us know, because I'm definitely trying to find a bottle of this.
I mean, you got Resident Evil. Can I get a man themed bottle of Hennessy?
No,
Will be good.
no. The Resident Evil one looks nice.
It does. It does.
I want to buy that one just because it's the green liquor,
Mhm.
make it look like the T-virus and all that stuff.
I just want to see Jason every week sipping his bottle of Hennessy like the ladies' man. Got my Cavassier.
No, I don't drink that shit. The lady once seen the price. He's like, yeah, no. No more shots of Hennessy.
That was one of my favorite bits on Saturday Night Live was the
Oh,
ladies' man.
absolutely.
Like tremendous stuff there.
Hey, it's a lady.
Hey, man, I ain't stopped blinking since. Shit.
Already, you chopped it. You chopped it.
You got like a roll of bounty paper towels because in about 10 minutes you're gonna start sweating.
I mean, next break, I might run and get that 12%.
More power to you.
That's really good. All right. Anything else intro wise? You guys good? You got smash or trash, Chris?
I got some snacks for smash or trash. Yeah. Let's get into this. We'll start with some drinks first. I saw Ocean Spray is coming out with a Cran Tropical. It's cranberry, mango, guava, and orange.
Trash.
They don't go wrong, so I'm gonna go smash.
Yes,
I'll go smash. That sounds like a very good mixer for rum. So
yeah, that'd be a good drink. Swiss Miss is coming out with Cinnamon Toast Crunch Cinnamilk.
Smash.
Trash.
I mean,
Smash
it's what
that.
everybody wants, right? Just the cinnamon flavored milk. I mean,
For local Pittsburgh, Turner's Dairy has came out with candy bar milk. So it's basically
Smash.
Snickers milk.
yep,
Smash.
Definitely smashing that. It's supposed to be out now, so if you guys find it, let us know. Don, this one's for you. Limited edition Sour Patch Cherry.
Smash.
Smash.
Smash. I'm a cherry guy.
Mm-hmm. And then this week it was announced Snoop Dogg's coming out with Snoop Loops.
1000% smash.
Smash.
So it's basically, it looks like what is it?
It's he partnered up with Master P, so it's him and Master P.
Okay.
Because Master P got the rap snacks, the chips, you know,
Okay.
and that. So they partnered up. So this is Snoop cereal, Snoop Loops.
Yeah, so it
kind of
looks like
Fruit Loops with marshmallows.
Yeah, marshmallows, yeah.
So who was the pancakes? Was that Mama Snoop?
Yeah, so with it, I got that too.
Okay.
You get the Snoop Loops, and then Mama Snoop has oatmeal, maple syrup, pancake mix, and grits.
Smash the whole line.
Yeah, I mean, and then all Snoop got to do is take that and turn it into edibles too. And I mean, he's cornering both markets. So
Smash everything but the grits.
No, not grits, man, huh?
No, I'm not.
Turn your cord.
yeah, turn that in.
I've been the Corbin turned this in 7th grade, so
He hasn't even reapplied for the application. He just left it.
that doesn't even
No longer remember.
no. It's okay. It's been going since '95. So.
Last one. Girl Scouts are coming out with Raspberry Rally for this season. This is going to be basically like Thin Mints, but instead of the Thin Mint, it will be a raspberry cookie with the chocolate on the outside. And the only difference is for this cookie, this is to be bought online only. So,
Trash.
That's trash. That's the trash part about it.
Girl Scouts is the biggest ripoff ever nowadays.
It is. Oh.
They give you like 6 cookies and it's $9 a box.
Oh, well, corporate, baby. They became a corporation. Mm-hmm.
Pass.
Look, my boss will buy boxes and be like, here, have one. I'm like, okay, cool. Thank you. I'll take it. But I ain't buying it for myself.
I wonder how much they're going to be now, with inflation.
I was going to say, aren't they usually like $5 a box? So.
No, they ain't been $5 in years.
How much are they now?
They're over $8 a box now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're not worth that. You can go to Dollar General and get the same cookie for like $2 a box.
If you join the Girl Scouts, you get a discount.
No,
No.
full price.
Steve was like, I tried that shit.
Yeah,
Funny how it is,
believe me, I've been working the angle to try to get do-si-dos on the cheap, and it ain't working, bro. So, yeah, no, I bought a couple boxes last year, and that's the last time. Can't do it no more.
Nah, I'd be back in the game.
I'm good. Is that all we got for intro?
I think so.
Anybody
All right.
watch Seahawk? Thumbs up.
Yes,
down?
yes. Okay, so I won't get into it because 2 out of the 4 haven't watched it, but we need to have a serious discussion on this based off of episode 1. 1000%. And I might reach out to Toe and them because they're the comic book gurus to do a little collab show because I want to get their takes on what they saw from the first episode. I know they'll break it down and go in depth like they normally do as each episode comes out, but there's a serious discussion that needs to be had, and I want to get some other opinions on here besides just us. So I want to set that up, but we definitely, I got some feelings on it as a Hulk fan, and Hulk being my number one superhero growing up. I got some serious issues that I need to get out and discuss.
Okay.
I liked it. I enjoyed it for what it was, but there's a bigger story that needs to
go
into with it. Yeah,
we just came off Smash or Trash and She-Hulk Smash. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it definitely was a smash. I mean, where they're going with it and how they're doing it and the breaking of the fourth wall and all that stuff. I enjoyed all of it. Like, super quick watch and everything else. It's just based on what was involved in the episode. There's a bigger overarching discussion that needs to be had, not with She-Hulk, but with Hulk himself.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
Well,
All right. Let's get into bell to bell. All right. So this week, bell to bell, we have the Real Housewives of AEW, Love and Wrestling going on currently. I know we try not to get into the rumor mill so much on this show, but a lot came about this week after the Punk promo to start the show on Wednesday night and all the drama afterwards. You know, a lot of work shoot discussions, so on and so forth. So with all that being said, when Punk signed with AEW, WWE was rumored to have come out and said, well, let that be their problem now. Mm-hmm. And coming up on a year later, depending on what you believe, it's definitely a problem in AEW right now. Locker room is split. A lot of people were upset with Punk for what he said about Hangman on Wednesday night. That was not part of the plan, or so you're led to believe. There's a lot of heat. Some people are blaming Hangman because he started it. When he cut the promo to Punk's face back before their matchup, hinting at the Colt Cabana stuff and issues there. So off the bat, what do you guys think? Is CM Punk a problem in AEW?
Dawn, before you go, where's the bandana at?
The bandana?
We need you with the bandana and the little bench press. You
need the full rose shades.
I was gonna say, where are the glasses at?
Man, the shirt said it enough. It said it enough. So speaking of the shades,
there we go. It's morphin' time.
So I saw on AEW's Facebook page, they said 1 year ago today is when he first appeared on Rampage. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I think I was one of the few people that said he should have left his ass back there 7 years ago. And what are you getting now? You're getting the same exact problems. I think his WWE problems were a different type of beef, but here he is nothing but the man whose shirt I have on right now. CM Hogan. He is Tony Khan's problem. He is Vince Russo, fanboy Vince Russo. Sorry, not Tony Khan. Fanboy Vince Russo's problem. And what you should do, you should cut your losses right now. Cut your losses, get rid of him, and restart the promotion from new. Because the promotion is in shambles.
So they allegedly, Tony Khan met with CM Punk Wednesday on Dynamite. They had a closed door one-on-one meeting for a little over an hour, a little longer, based on what the dirt sheets have put out there. And we don't put 100% stock in the dirt sheets. We're just giving you guys what's been reported and going off of that. And allegedly, Punk wasn't even going to show up to do Dynamite. And a lot of people have been heard that Punk would never. He said that he would never put Hangman over. Yada yada yada. There's a lot of back and forth as far as like you said, the Hogan effect. I want creative control, not doing this, not doing that, etc., etc., etc. I saw on Twitter the clip floated around with him and Triple H, the promo from years ago where Punk's sitting at the table and Triple H is standing up and he's talking to Punk about how, believe it or not, a lot of these people sitting here and watching at home actually like the WWE, and they come, they cheer, they enjoy. And the difference between me and you is that I looked you in the eye and told you I was coming for the number one spot. You backdoor, you politic, you snake, and if it doesn't benefit you, then it's not best for business. All these years later, it seems to be the same
person.
So the caption around that video was something along the effects is, as a child, you thought CM Punk was right, but as an adult, you realized Triple H was right, or however it's worded. You know what I mean? We talked about this when he signed, whether or not we were going to get the grateful to be back in wrestling, happy to put over young guys, and he even said it himself. I'm here to work with young talent, put them over, etc., etc. A year later, it doesn't seem like that's the case.
Y'all can weigh in, but my feelings.
I mean, he started off with MJF, so we started off with Darby, and then moved to the MJF feud. So he started working with the young guys, and then for whatever reason they put the title on him when they did. I didn't agree with it when they did it, but
that had to have been a part of the contract to get him in.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
come in. We'll put the belt on you. Like, to me, Punk should be an attraction at this point.
Agreed.
Yeah,
he shouldn't be the guy.
Yeah,
and there's and it's not that he can't go in the ring, but the aura of Punk, the mystique around Punk, I think would be best utilized to keep him as an attraction.
Yeah. Much
like how they've booked Sting since he's come in.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's almost 2 decades difference as far as age goes. So I'm not saying age-wise you book Punk to wrestle like Sting. But what I'm saying is that type of talent, to get the most out of him, should be the attraction, should be the marquee, should be the guy that you're putting stories in, should be the guy to work with the younger talent to get them ready for TV, etc., etc. But they decided to make him the guy and carry the load. And Moxley pointed it out this week, like, your body, is writing checks that it can't cash. So can he be the guy and hold up and defend the belt nonstop and everything else? I don't know.
Time will tell on it. But yeah, I don't need everybody in AEW's had a long-term run, a couple pay-per-views before they drop the belt. I don't need that from Punk.
No.
I don't want him to drop it, whatever they decide to do this week, if this is the match or if they do a rematch at All Out. I don't need Moxley to be champ. So, but come Full Gear, from all out to Full Gear, build up the next person that's ready to beat him. Rumor is MJF's on his way back. If it's MJF, it's MJF. But we need someone in place to beat him for Full Gear and move on to the next person. And like Donald brought up last week, it's been last year it was all about the 4 pillars, and that's kind of gone away now. It's like we need to get back to some sort of that to bring in that homegrown talent because everybody has their issues with the Hangman Page run, but he was there every week, did his job.
I want to say I got a bigger question regarding the match that was announced for next week. So we're going to talk about that. Let's hold off on that because I got a more 30,000 feet view of it and want to see as far as what's best for business type deal. I don't know where this goes or how this eventually plays out. I mean, if you're going to believe what's been put out there that he wasn't going to show up and quit and take his ball and go home again and everything else, and it's like, well, the narrative hasn't changed in 7+ years.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, is that just who he is?
Could be.
Is he the guy that's going to cry wolf, take his ball, and go home?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then why continue to love and build up the almost worship that is CM Punk from the fan base out there?
If that's the way he is, then this is going to – and AEW is the last spot for him. If he can't do what he wants to do here, this is it for him. There's not going to be another promotion. He's going to be too old at that point.
Well, there's other promotions, but nobody's going to pay him what AEW's paying.
I think he's secretly that guy, but I don't think he's that guy to like Hogan's level, where you're outright, yeah, this is what I'm not going to do. This is what I'm going to do. I mean, I feel like a little bit of this is overblown, partial work, not as big as it's being played out to be.
And that was going to be my next question.
The dirt sheets are the dirt sheets are you making it out to be something more than what it is? Come on.
Because once you're doing the word quit, I'm like, nah, there's no way the man was going to quit. Now you're overblowing the situation.
I just think for the whole Hangman thing, he should have, if that's an issue, you don't come out on TV and deal with that the way he did, unless that's a work. If it's something you do that in the background, you've had long enough to squash that. If he's just harboring onto that for all these months, like it's a little ridiculous at this point.
But does this put Hangman in the picture?
It could.
So that's the next thing, right? Like you have this interim title situation. You're giving it away free next week on TV, right?
Stupid.
Arguably, you could say this is one of the biggest matches that AEW has put together for free on TV.
Mm-hmm.
We saw this with WCW giving away Hogan Goldberg on free TV.
Yep.
I was listening to Busted Open on Thursday, and Tommy Dreamer said you're taking a huge risk doing this. A huge risk, because that type of match should be your pay-per-view main event.
Yeah. To
give it away free on TV, you're rolling the dice and you're taking it out there, because if it's not booked correctly, or you try to fudge the finish and do something and everything else, then people aren't going to buy the pay-per-view because they've already seen what you're going to do on TV. If you don't have a clean finish Wednesday night between them two, then this was all for naught, in my opinion. And it was wasted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because whatever they're going to do, as far as whether you bring in MJF back, you bring Hangman in, screwy finish, disqualification, whatever, turns into a triple threat at the pay-per-view, whatever the case may be, like, you could have done the same thing at All Out.
Mm-hmm.
But that's your marquee main event.
Mm-hmm. But did you already out booked?
As far as I understand, no. I don't think you have All Out booked. Like, you would have penciled in MJF and Punk for All Out. Why give it away free on TV?
Yeah, there would have been graphics and everything.
Moxley and CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
Know what I'm saying? Like if you have All Out and thing booked, to me right now this is just interim. So this means nothing. If Punk wins on Wednesday, this means nothing. This is just right and wrong. This is just fixing your storyline.
But doing it a week, a week and a half before,
and 2 weeks before
your biggest pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do to have the main event at your pay-per-view?
Yeah, because if Punk wins, you don't go rematch. So what are you going to do? You have a week to build up to the next main event, and what's the point of that?
And I wouldn't throw Hangman in there based off of what Punk said, just to have Hangman lose to Punk, because that does a disservice to Hangman.
Yes,
especially if he's just going to job it.
Yes,
exactly.
That's a burial.
Yeah.
Either way, they put him in his job. If it's triple threat, he's jobbing it. So if it's to Moxley, if it turns into a triple threat, he's going to take the pin. So
if it turns into a triple threat, what triple threat are you more interested in seeing? Moxley Punk MJF or Moxley Punk Hangman?
With MJF.
Hangman.
Don't get me wrong, I like Hangman. I just don't want Hangman in that match because I don't want him getting shit on by those two, because we know where his stock is compared to those two for whatever reason. For me as a fan, Hangman is above the two of them, and I don't want him taking the fall just because Tony Khan thinks that the two of CM Punk and Moxley are above Hangman.
Yeah, I don't want Hangman in it because his story's over with CM Punk. To me, his story's over with, no matter what CM Punk called him out or not. That's over with. I'm looking forward to MJF. That's the future. Get back on track.
To MJF, you want to rely on the build.
I would rather have the build to Full Gear than to All Out.
Mm-hmm.
If you throw MJF in the triple threat at All Out, if they go that route, based off of him coming back Wednesday night and causing a DQ finish, whatever the case may be. I mean, if he comes back Wednesday night, that gives you a little bit of leeway to get him story-wise, to get him to be able to be in the main event, considering he walked out, left, and everything else. You could tell that, but it's a short build and it doesn't do it justice. But if MJF's the guy in the triple threat at All Out, to me, MJF has to win the triple threat at All Out.
Has to.
Yeah. And Punk is not going to go from winning the title at Double or Nothing to not, having one or two title defenses and being on the shelf for 4 months and then dropping the belt. To me, CM Punk's not doing that.
But what if he's not 100%?
That's what I thought it was.
Then why bring him out in the first place? And we'll get into this with Kenny Omega as well, because that's going to be my question for Omega. But
that's kind of what I thought on Wednesday night too.
If you're injured, why bring you out?
Before they announced the match, I thought like everything that happened Wednesday was to put him back on the shelf.
To put Punk back on the shelf.
Yeah, like Moxley would do something to put him back on the shelf until he's ready to.
Okay.
But they announced the match, so here we are.
Let me ask you this.
And if Moxley wins, I'm going to be upset.
If Moxley wins, I'll be perfectly fine with that because I want Punk gone.
I want Moxley gone as much as I want Punk gone.
I mean, I want both of them gone, but I'd rather see Punk gone before Moxley.
Let me ask you this and just tit for tat right here, because I feel Monday night there was something on the show on WWE that we can compare AEW to right now. Which one was better? The back and forth promo between Mox and Punk and the pull apart, or the back and forth promo between KO and Drew?
Oh,
that subsequent match to hit.
Definitely KO and Drew.
I like KO and Drew better.
I go KO and Drew.
I was Punk and Moxley. Not that I loved it, but
I don't. It was the pull apart and all the. When they got to the pull apart part, it just looked too clownish to me. Like,
see, the pull apart for me didn't work because Punk is still hurt.
Yeah.
So they were half-assed doing it
like a toddler. Like, no.
You got the more oohs and ahs with what was said between Punk and Moxley, shock value wise, but from an entertainment standpoint and the truths that were being spoken, I preferred KO and Drew.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I've heard Drew's side of it before with I was the chosen one. I got fired. They called me. I didn't call them to come back and everything else. But they threaded that chosen line storyline for Monday and they carried it over to Friday night, which I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I really, that cohesive storytelling was big in WWE this week, and I was a huge fan of that.
Yes,
like
the times for WWE are nice now. They are.
Going back to the segment itself, KO and Drew, I much prefer that. That's the Owens that I want.
Yes.
Neither guy backed down. They both spoke their piece. Both of them were right in what they said.
Mm-hmm.
And it said, okay, you believe what you said. I believe what I said. Fuck it. Let's have a match.
Fight.
And then they tore the house down and had a great match.
I love this segment because I like what Owen said. Drew, I just thought they just did it for shock value for him. I think everybody kind of overblew his thing. Like, oh, he said wrestler.
For me, it was his delivery, how he came with it. Like you didn't
made it a lot better. Yeah, it made it more
every
real.
other time you got him saying it. This time it felt like there was something behind it. Like
coming from him.
Yeah,
it didn't sound
like how it led to that
from
impromptu match because you haven't seen that in a while. I'm like that. It's like, okay, like we just had some beef. Let's just end this right now. We're here. Let's do it. Let's not wait at all. And I like that. And Kevin Owens came out in Montreal last night after SmackDown. Got a nice little pop. And I like. It seems like they kind of reverted back to his NXT character a little bit more last night. I like where we're going with this. Yeah, that's exactly where he needs to be. Like, I'm here for Kevin Owens.
I prefer that one over the Moxley and Punk, even though the shock value from a fan standpoint, most people were oohing and on over what was said between Punk and Mox because of the whole pipe bomb, blah blah blah. But from an entertainment standpoint, 15% kicking in a little bit. The entertainment standpoint, as a wrestling fan, WWE grabbed me with that Monday night. I was there for it. I was cheering on. I was rooting for it. They beat the hell out of each other. Strong physical match. They delivered. I want to see more of KO and Drew moving forward.
I wouldn't be upset with that.
That's a matchup we haven't had in WWE.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I wanted to compare that because to me that was the most apples to apples thing between the two companies this week. Were those two promo segments?
If you have Owens beat McIntyre, that's a big win for Owens' train. For his stock to rise again in the company. We know the person booking this right now is high on Kevin Owens, so I don't think that's a problem. It's just how are we going to get him there? And I'm here to watch that elevation each week because I think it's going to happen over time. But you have him beat Drew McIntyre, however, and that just gets his stock to rise a little bit more because there's a big size difference there with the two. So you see Kevin Owens beat a big guy like that, and he has that potential, and he's a legit threat on the roster.
Don, you brought up story tie-ins for the week for WWE and everything else. And we talked about the Drew with the chosen one and not being carried over to Friday night. I thought Karrion Kross's video package explaining that and talking about that did good to build on him coming out, why he attacked Drew, why he's looking at Roman and everything else. Sami Zayn. So let's talk about Sami a little bit because the pop last night in Montreal was out of this world.
Yeah.
I mean, when they talk about Road Warrior-esque pop, that's what that man got last night.
I thought they took him out the match just to get him to stop.
I had the same thoughts. I'm like, yeah. And then when he came back, I'm like, oh shit, they're really going to have him win this here in Montreal because 9 times out of 10, when a person leaves with an injury and comes back, they're winning the match, right? Like,
which is so different from Vince booking because it's like usually when someone's in their hometown, they get shit on.
Yeah.
Natty, that wasn't her hometown, but Canada.
But the reason why
The 15.
The reason why I'm bringing up Sammy was because of, again, the storytelling, the thread throughout the show. You have him finally getting in to talk to Roman.
Mm.
The whole him snitching on Jay, and then Roman agreeing with him, and Sammy finally found somebody that believed the conspiracy theory that he's put together. Like, it was just, I need more Roman and Sammy back and forth. Like, to me,
I like that
has the
interaction.
the potential to be Rock Hurricane if they run with it. Is what I saw last night. Looking, I'm like, oh, they found Rock Hurricane, because the backstage segments between Rock and Hurricane back in the day were hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
They were tremendous. They interacted on screen, in the ring, and everything else. Like, they had a great match together. Like, that could be the pairing moving forward with that.
I think we're going to have some time between Clash of the Castle and Extreme Rules, so I wouldn't mind seeing that played out on SmackDown.
And then, he takes the Claymore last week for Jay. He takes the Claymore for Roman this week. Like, I'm super excited to see where they go with this.
But it's
Sammy and what they're doing.
My favorite part of that whole segment behind the scenes, whenever it was just Sammy and Roman, was, Roman was indulging him through the whole thing. Like, they were BFFs the whole time. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, it was cracking me up. And then Sammy got up to leave, and Roman just kind of gives him that side eye, like, this fucking guy. like why was he just in here? It's just like, I love that whole play out. It's like, the whole time it's just like, oh, like, you think, that Roman's on his side, and then, like, he just, like, looks at him like something's got to happen to him.
To get back to Donald's point,
right.
To get back to the storytelling, right? Like, we know Heyman's out because Lesnar killed him with an F5. They give you the reason why the bloodline's not there. They got issues at the border, can't get across. The only one Roman can depend on is Sammy. And being the honorary use, he steps up to the plate and gets his blessing from the tribal tree. And he steps up in a big way, takes the Claymore kick, which, if you build upon that next week when the Usos are back, Roman can come out and be like, hey,
where were you?
Where were you?
Yeah.
Sammy was here.
Yeah.
Sammy
sacrificed himself for me.
Right. Like, so you can...
The 180 on you guys.
I don't remember hearing the Usos get a pop like Sammy got.
The 180 on you guys is amazing, man. I'm about to tell you, I'm about to tear up over here. Talking
because we're giving so much love.
Oh man, I'm joyous over here.
100 episodes later, we're finally on the same page. Huh?
Review now in person. And I'll see my ear like, you see that?
We're gonna all watch Clash of the Castle together.
Here's the biggest pendulum swing for me, right? The consistency in building stories throughout the shows. Even last night with Bailey coming, Dakota, and
I love that.
Io coming in.
Michael.
And, oh my God, did I miss Bailey harassing Cole? And the fact that Pat was like, he said you suck or whatever it was. You know what I mean?
Like, I didn't say that.
Yeah. And Cole was like, no, I never said that. Pat was like, well, you like, just have Bailey come out and just sit behind Cole each week on SmackDown. I'll tune in for 2 hours because it was tremendous. But you can see
the change.
You can see the change, and not everything is going to be instantaneous. We know that, right? But from if this is a 100-yard dash, right? Or because that's too short. Let's say if this is a 400, right? The get off out the blocks, they're off to a great start.
Yeah.
Whether or not they can keep the pace for the full 400, I don't know. But their get off out the blocks right now is really good. They reestablished characters. They've set origins right. They're doing great vignettes and video packages. Cohesive storytelling threads throughout the nights of the show, carrying one thread over to the show on SmackDown. Like
they did a segment on Raw. I think it was with Mustafa Ali and Cedric, like where they just had them walking down the hallway, like as they were coming out, making their entrance, doing that. Just like that's old school. Like that used to get done on every show, and then they got away from that. So I like kind of seeing that thrown back in there, like just a little promo, like as they're on their way to the ring.
Mhm.
And it's making for me, it's making Raw and SmackDown like one show with everything. Like if you miss something, you're not going to miss a lot of it. It's like the threads are connecting through both shows.
So that's actually
that's
a good topic, Donald, because I was thinking this week, rumor is that they're going to do another draft after Clash at the Castle. Do you think there should be a draft and, we split the rosters up again? Or do you think that they should just do that and just make it one cohesive roster and, have story continuation like it used to be, like during the Attitude Era?
So rumor to that is USA wants a champion on Raw. They don't like the 2-belt champ. Unfortunately for them, I think you're going to get that for a while. I don't see them rushing to have Roman lose. It's not like you can just have a title match for one belt after they unified them. You know what I mean? So I don't know how they work around that to get it to where you have a champion on both brands. Me personally, I don't need a champion on both brands.
No.
If you're going to have unified belts, then have the champion work both brands.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right? Do I think a draft is necessary at this point in time right now based off of what they're doing? I don't think so, because they're reinventing, they're retelling who these characters are. And the whole purpose of the draft is to get that fresh coat of paint on people for a new start, new matchups. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can move rosters around so the same people aren't working together, all like that. But I think it's being freshened up as we go week to week to where the draft doesn't have the significance that it used to hold, or at least what we thought the draft would hold by changing shows. So I don't necessarily need a draft this fall.
No.
I don't. I would rather see it just be one show. And that's been my MO for months and why I wanted the titles unified. And I would still like to see that. I would like to see, if Roman's the champ, put Roman on Raw more. That's if that's the issue with USA, that they want a champion, put Roman on Raw. Don't just make him SmackDown exclusive. But if you're going to do a draft, and I wouldn't even mind if they kind of redid the draft in a way of Raw would be, before it was when Raw and SmackDown, it's basically the same show, just the same show with different names. But if you make them different in a way, like if you would focus on maybe the NXT talent, like Triple H's people on Raw, and then maybe SmackDown be more of your sports entertainment show, that could give you two shows to tune into. Like, okay, Monday Night Raw, you're going to get, your wrestling audience maybe. And then Friday Night SmackDown, you're going to get your sports entertainment audience. And because already on SmackDown, you're going to get more because of
I don't think they would ever do that as far as a booking goes, because they're so big to the point that you're alienating your audience between two nights.
Yeah.
So if you would make
Raw
be more interesting.
But Raw has the 3 hours, so you can.
Yeah, which the whole point of the draft in the beginning, anyways, was supposed to be that internal competition. To have different champions, on different brands. So it was supposed to be like WWF versus WCW. But if you would do that with Raw versus SmackDown, whenever they've done that in the past, I think it would be more interesting again.
But you have 3 hours on Raw, so you can do the wrestling-based and entertainment-based because you have the time.
I've been enjoying what they've been doing with Raw because I think, the women have gotten a lot more time. And it's been more of that variety. You get your high flyers, you get your women, you get your wrestling, you get your sports entertainment. Raw has definitely been a variety show the past few weeks.
I have a question. Do you need your champion on TV every week? You personally?
No.
I don't need them every week.
No.
Because like from what Raw's been putting out lately, other than I want to say I didn't care much for Ziggler and Ziggler.
That was a weird main event choice, but
they were legit good main events that would have been taken up by Roman cutting a promo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't need both shows to end with your champion out there in the last 10 minutes doing a talking segment.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, yeah, no.
I'd like to see him more, but I don't need him on every
Well,
week.
here the perfect example that's opposite to that is we see the champion in Moxley be on AEW every single week. So he's defending the belt every single week. And it's like it doesn't like
And to
the
me,
champion is the guy, right? The
Yeah.
champion is he's special. He's that guy for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't need you out there being the workhorse. That's why the
I see
television
that.
title was developed. That's
I see that.
yeah, exactly. That's why you have the TNT title. That's why you have.
but
I
that's
don't
how I
need you
feel.
out there defending it every week.
That's how I feel it being the interim belt. Like it being the interim, it means nothing to me. So you can go out and defend it every week. It's not the main belt.
For me, it's not the title; it's the person holding the title. For me, like I don't need Moxley on my TV every week.
True.
When Hangman was coming out defending every week or doing his segments, I was cool with that because I like Hangman. I like because he was a young champion that still continued to elevate his stock week in and week out. I was cool with that. Just for me, I didn't need Moxley being interim champion. I didn't want Moxley being the interim champion. So it's like, yeah, it does nothing for me whenever he comes out and is on my TV screen.
Yeah, but Hangman wasn't out there defending it every single week, like in a fight, like Moxley is.
Yeah. I'm not sure. And I mean, we'll see this week where the AEW is even going with Moxley and Punk. You know, that's to be determined, but
Yeah.
I don't.
For
WWE
me, in the perfect world for me, Moxley will be Punk. Punk will be gone, and Moxley and MJF will just be the going through all out.
The past few weeks for me on Raw, you know, Bobby Lashley's had some great matches defending
Yes, he has.
the United States Championship. I didn't understand why him and AJ weren't the main event this week. Don't get me wrong, I didn't mind the main event of Ziggler in theory. It was weird, like you guys said. Like it was kind of weird placement and how they just threw it in the main event. I think AJ and Lashley would have been better suited there.
Definitely.
Because that's
Yeah,
because everybody's been talking about how much they're enjoying the United States title being, you know, promoted again, you know, and making it feel legit. And I think to your point, Jason, you know, yeah, it being if you don't have the champion, Lashley's kind of your placeholder champion right now on the brand because of him promoting that title.
Did Loomis jump into that match?
he tried to.
Okay.
Yeah, they did a thing.
That should have been that could have been another main event.
And I thought
off air with.
Yeah, I thought after they did that, I thought maybe that's why that wasn't in the main event because they didn't want the same thing almost repeated in the main event week after week.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the reason, but that's just kind of what I thought. But yeah, Lashley doing his thing with the U.S. title has been great. Gunther doing his thing with the Intercontinental title, you know, hasn't been as strong yet. But you know that you can see, you feel at least like okay, they're going to try to promote this. Like now, like I said last week, I thought that Nakamura and Gunther should have been the main event, or should not main event, but should have been a match at Clash at the Castle. But okay, I'll take Gunther and Sheamus.
And I really enjoyed that contenders match.
Yeah.
And everybody in there looked like they can legit contend for it.
Yeah.
Like you didn't know who was who took the pin? Was it Ricochet? No, Sammy took the pin, didn't he?
Ricochet.
Ricochet took the pin.
Like I said, I know Sheamus won, but I can't remember who did.
Then also with the U.S. title with Bobby and AJ, it puts them back in the main event picture for me. Them having good matches like that puts them in the main event picture. So you can have, like Steve said, like a couple months ago, saying having like 4, 5, 6 guys in the picture for the main event just in case something happens.
That's the big thing right there. They're building up their players. They're getting their 4 to 6 people that are on that top tier that you can switch out, interchange, and it doesn't feel just like somebody challenging that we know is going to lose. a la AEW and what they've done with their challengers recently.
Like, I didn't even mind this week. You got the random match, and I just felt it was kind of just thrown together of Ali and Cedric versus Ciampa and Miz. Like, I was like, I don't understand where this match really came from, but at the end, like, the match was good, but it was just like, okay, they're just trying something here. I think, like, seeing if it works. And
I didn't like the
Ali and
Cedric need to be a tag and go and work
they
on
do,
the tag division.
but I want to see them one-on-one one more time.
Like, I'd rather have Ali get his run again. Like, I think just kind of like they brought him out a couple weeks ago, and just like with Ricochet, it's just like, I think just reestablish him as a singles guy, and I think he can get over again.
Patience, young grasshopper. Yeah. Like we got time. You don't need everybody getting their singles run right now. No. So
I'm not saying main event, but I think, and right now is the time for him to go against the U.S. Championship, because him and Lashley is just a complete opposite. You could have a good match, I'm sure, with the two of them, but being David and Goliath, but it's not the time for him to really be in the U.S. Championship picture.
If everybody is getting shine right now, would you like to see a 205 or cruiserweight belt?
No.
Okay.
No. That's just going back to WCW era, and then you're just going to be locked into that class.
Yeah.
Okay.
You already have 2 mid-card belts. I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I didn't like from Raw was I guess you could call it the overbooking of Lashley and Styles, with Ciampa and Miz coming out, and then Loomis getting involved. It just felt way.
That way you took your little break there.
Right. Well, this 15% had a brother go take a piss. Like, it is what it is.
We're good.
Yeah, but
Kenny,
before we get into Omega, let's get into Omega, because there's another WWE thing that I didn't like this week, which I'll bring up after we get into this. The return of Kenny Braggot Omega. First off, I love hearing Don Callis back on the microphone.
Yes.
He's a fucking national treasure. Protect him at all costs. I don't care if you hate him. The man is tremendous on the microphone. Second off, JR's absolute disgust with Callis. He's fucking gold. So get that man get him 3 or 4 Moscow mules and then put Callis out there. Okay? Give JR one of these. Give JR a couple of these and let Callis sit next to him.
Before we get into Kenny, I was thinking last night after watching SmackDown, JR, every time Acclaim comes out, JR does his listen, and it cracks me up every time. Last night, whenever Hit Row came out, Michael Cole did Hit Row, and I was just like, JR's listen is so much better, is greater than Michael Cole's Hit Row.
Don't even mention them.
Bully Ray asked the question, one word to describe Dynamite, and I put overhyped. And the reason why I put overhyped, and also why this show is called Obviously this week, is because we all knew it was Kenny freaking Omega. You gave away the return before the return. And not only that, you told 90% of the story on BTE.
Yeah.
Do you want that for the rating, or do you want the surprise? Because what's the surprise if nobody's watching?
I think they botched
not a surprise.
I think they botched the surprise, which hurt the rating.
What was the rating this week? I didn't even see.
It was their usual. They're 930, 950.
Oh.
They still pulled their average, what they've been doing recently. But the man's been out for 10 months. He's arguably your biggest star in your company. He's still arguably one of the top 5 wrestlers in the world. His comeback should not have been a screenshot tease of the mystery Bucks partner.
No.
I mean, no, seriously, like let's really think about this here. Like, as far as re-debuting stars that were injured, when Triple H tore his quad and came back in Madison Square Garden, that place went fucking ballistic.
Mm-hmm.
And not saying that the place didn't go ballistic on Wednesday night,
Mhm.
but it didn't have the same feel. It didn't come across the TV screen the same way. In my opinion.
Just
You
because
may feel different.
But I mean, then again, it was a different time. Like you're not getting too many surprises now.
I mean, Triple H didn't come out as a surprise either. They hyped his return up.
They did hype it up, yeah.
So
It did hype it up, yeah. But the internet wasn't the internet like it was too.
Yeah,
saying how like the recovery's coming for
and it was also MSG too. Like where you're at helps out with that return.
Had
he returned to North Carolina, maybe it would have been different.
I did enjoy Justin Roberts reading all the stuff off before, Kenny himself, I thought he looked good. Maybe his win wasn't what it needs to be, but he's been off for 10 months. But he looked like Kenny Omega. The only difference is that you're getting him with the compression shirt on, with the brace on the shoulder and everything else.
The Ric Flair.
Definitely made me wonder, where he's at in his healing process and recovery.
I think he's still hurt.
Yeah,
and I mean,
what do you say? He's doing
himself
like 4 or 5 days a week in therapy. So,
I mean, he himself has said that if he had one more setback, he was done. He was going to hang it up. It was, given his age and everything that he's gone through, the amount of surgeries that he had while he was out.
Rumors also been his contract's up at the beginning of the year.
Him taking that bump sitting on the guard when Dragon Lee.
Yeah, why do that? That's
I
not
like why? Like come on now.
That was insane.
Yeah.
I hate him being in the trios tournament, but for right now, I think it's perfect for him.
Because you're not going to take all the bumps.
Yeah, they can hide them
for sure.
Yeah, it's like you got
Bucks
5 other guys in that ring to do stuff.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Punk. If they're not 100% and you're just putting them out there because you have All Out and you have to get the pay-per-view buys and you have these trio titles and everything else, if you're rushing people back that aren't fully 100%, then that's on you as the booker.
Fanboys. Can't tell us.
Because it's no good to have them come back, go half-assed with an injury, have a shitty match, get hurt again, and be out for another 6 months.
Yeah.
So Jay, like, do I want Omega involved in the trios? No. Is this the best position for him, given whatever percentage he's at? Yeah. Absolutely. So let him run with it. They get the belt. They can go on and move forward and do some stuff with it. And then, let him get back to being the best bout machine, starting next year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was just, I just watched it and I'm like, they did it all wrong.
It felt like Cody with WrestleMania. Like everybody knew.
Yeah.
But then he had his reactions in the crowd was like, oh my God, I can't believe it was him. No,
but I will say for me personally, even though I knew both were coming back, I still got chills seeing Cody. I didn't get that with Omega.
Because you didn't think it was possible. You didn't think
that may be the fact, that may be the X factor in the equation as far as him actually returning to WWE.
Yeah, that's the difference, yeah.
Which that's a name we can get into and have a whole bell to bell itself as far as what his trajectory is with Vince being gone and Hunter back in the helm when he comes back. But we'll save that for another pod.
I need that one-on-one.
Anything else from Monday, Wednesday, Friday that you want to get into between AEW and WWE?
Still like AEW's timing issues at the end. Dragon Lee get the hammer lock,
and they go to black,
and then it goes to black. Like, okay.
I fell asleep. Did Roosh ever get in the match?
Yeah,
he was he was in, but it was more
picture in picture for him.
But I think The bigger story throughout the match was the Dragon Lee and the respect factor and him going at it and them setting up the turn at the end, which we didn't get to see the full picture of because they ran out of time.
So did they unmask him on air? On TV?
Yes.
They took the mask off. Yeah, they took the mask off, they hit the DDT.
The mask popped off.
And they cut to
Nick
Omega.
Jackson. Yeah, you see Nick Jackson about to run in to make the save, and it went off. Like, that was it. So you didn't even get to see the save. So
I didn't watch Dynamite on Wednesday. I ended up watching on Thursday. And I ended up using a link to watch the stream. And I don't know what this was that I watched, but I enjoyed it so much more because instead of being like picture in picture and cutting out the commercial, they kept the camera going and like commentary team kept talking and everything. So instead of it being, say, like an hour and a half episode of Dynamite, with the commercials cut out, I watched it as like it was like an hour and 50 minutes of Dynamite. And it was so much more entertaining for me. Like, I actually really enjoyed this week's Dynamite. For me, it was the episode of the week. Not by much, but like I still enjoyed it. And I think just not having that picture in picture and just continuing with the matches as it was going on gave them more for me.
So you had a different viewing experience for it.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for Dynamite this week.
No, not at all.
Just Omega's return.
I mean, the Punkly Mox promo was good, but the pull apart weighed it down, and I think it ended up
the second time it's doing that.
Was like.
And you got
like you ain't Brock Taker. There's no need for 50 pull aparts. Like
you
you're
had
not Brock
like some
Taker.
squash matches this week.
Yeah, and saying the Varsity Blondes, they were complaining on Twitter.
Yeah,
of their frustrations because of that match.
Jungle Boy's segment, Jungle Boy and Christian was a dud.
Yeah, terrible.
And that led into the problems with last night with Rampage. So I watched SmackDown, had an enjoyable night watching it. Really was excited. I was actually excited to see what Rampage would give me. As soon as Rampage comes on the air, I got Jericho shouting at JR about how he's a wizard. And then Claudio comes out and cuts the boringest promo of all boring promos to be responded to by Dustin, who cuts another boring response. I checked out. I tuned off. I turned it off.
I told Chris and Jason I'm not watching Rampage until it's live.
I'm not watching Rampage until they get rid of Jericho.
As much as I love to see that match, Dustin and
the match will deliver, but what they did last night sucked.
It could have been somebody else. Don't get me wrong.
Are they just gonna fight because they're gonna fight, or are they gonna fight for the Ring of Honor title?
For the title.
For the title next week.
But it could have been. It could have been building up somebody else.
Jericho needs to go back to just being Jericho on the commentary, like he did during the pandemic. I don't need
him on.
I don't need him on commentary.
I don't need sports entertainer Jericho on commentary.
I don't need him on commentary at all.
If you're having JR come out at 9:00 on Dynamite, and then he's going to continue on and do Rampage, which is the formula they've been using, I don't need Jericho. Just give me JR, Excalibur, and Taz.
Yes,
that's all I need. I don't need Chris. He
that
adds
provides
nothing
more
to the broadcast.
His face is already all over Dynamite. I don't need to hear him for another hour.
That gives you more uniformity for the programming too. If you just do JR, Taz, and Excalibur, that you're getting the same team on both shows, so you're getting the same commentary no matter what it is, and I prefer that.
Let me get into a gripe about Tuesday. So NXT Heatwave. All intents and purposes, I enjoyed it.
It was good.
I thought it was a good little TV special, right?
Yeah, it was good, not great. It was good.
Yeah, it wasn't like Takeover great, but for a TV special, I thought it was good. There were some matches that hit, others were so-so.
Yeah.
But then they do like the WWE thing where they spoil something that shouldn't have been spoiled. So Braun Breaker wins the NXT Championship in his match against JD McDonough.
Snoozer.
Yeah,
didn't really care for it. But you have Tyler Bate come out. And what does Tyler Bate have on his shoulder?
UK champion.
NXT UK championship.
I was like, okay.
what was supposed to air on Thursday? The tournament for the NXT UK Championship.
Let's
So
start,
if you're
not the whole thing, just part of it.
Yeah, just to start, right? Yeah. So if you are a fan of NXT UK and you also watch NXT 2.0, spoiler alert,
Spoilers.
you got the ending to the tournament.
Yeah.
What the hell are they thinking?
That was bad.
That
was bad.
I agree. It was bad, and I thought the same thing. It's just this tournament's going to go for a couple more weeks, and then they are doing this pay-per-view the same weekend as Clash at the Castle, so it's like you almost had to be spoiled for it. I don't think it was planned when they taped that episode in early July. I don't think this was the plan to do Worlds Collide, but.
So speaking of World Collide, besides the spoiler, it was what it was. Like people were hot on the internet, especially NXT UK fans that watch that show religiously. They were steaming. But
I honestly, whenever he came out, I was like, see, as going in, I wanted JD to win, and it's like once Tyler came out, just like I would much more enjoy JD and Tyler than Braun and Tyler.
Yeah,
then it wouldn't be Worlds Collide. It'd just be UK versus UK.
Yeah.
Right. So we got releases yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of the releases were NXT UK talent. The reason for the releases, if you believe the rumor and innuendo, is that NXT UK is going away because WWE is launching NXT Europe or WWE Europe, however you want to phrase it, in 2023. I didn't see too much backlash as far as releases go. Typically, when WWE releases people, you get everybody up in arms and the whole budget cuts and everything else and all that. I thought the response to releases was very mute as far as backlash goes, and it's more as, okay, we're getting this new vision. Once we get NXT Europe up and running, some of these guys and girls will be rehired.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start that whole thing. So it didn't get the outrage that I thought releases would get based off of that, which goes to show if you put out there why you're doing certain things and it's a logical, understandable reason for why you're doing certain things, then you don't get the hate that comes along with the cuts.
Mm-hmm. Also,
if they just release these people due to budget cuts and there's no explanation, there's no announcement, there's nothing as far as NXT Europe or WWE Europe, then I think it's a much different reaction.
Yeah, because the past week, people actually thought because they get canceled an NXT UK taping, and they were like, "Whoa, like there's no tapings on the schedule for the foreseeable future. What's going on here? Is NXT UK going away?" And it is going away, but just different than what everybody was thinking a week ago.
I believe it being UK, just because it's UK, it didn't have that much, backlash stateside, and the fact that Trips is bringing people back more actively, you can say, hey, he's just letting them sit for a minute and then rehire them back when they start up this new thing. Yeah.
I mean, he kept the people that he needs to keep on for a few more weeks, for about a month, and then
I'm surprised 7 in Brookside.
Yes,
and then once Worlds Collide's over with, NXT UK's done. So then I see a lot of these guys coming back. Whoever
are what Gallus and what is it?
Bateman Jensen.
Huh?
Gallus.
No, but what are they going to do come once World Collide's in? Or are they just going to jump back to the system over there?
Maybe they'll be on NXT.
They'll probably hold them on NXT before even send them back over. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a good way to get some exposure for the people over there.
Mm.
Just migrate the roster for a bit and then send them back.
Because, I'm wondering, are they at Worlds Collide, and this is still to be determined, are they going to just unify the titles and then do a fresh start with NXT Europe? Or whoever the champions are for NXT UK, will they just become the champions of NXT Europe?
I don't know. Yeah. I think I need more information to come out.
Yeah.
Don't unify that belt. I like that belt.
I like that belt a lot.
Me too.
All right. Anything else before we get into debate this week? Because we've already gone an hour 20, and majority of this has been in on bell to bell. So we're going a little long this week. Anything else before we go into debate this?
Your thoughts on toxic attraction, real quick.
I like it.
You like it?
It's all NXT women in this tournament in the Final Four. I like that.
I tweeted out yesterday. I said, I doubt WWE will do this, but having Toxic Attraction win this match will be like having Private Party beat the Young Bucks in the tag team tournament. And then literally 10 seconds later, the pin happened. So I retweeted out, well, this didn't age well. No, I like it. If you're looking at it from a bracket aspect, to me, Toxic Attraction is going to the finals.
I agree.
Because you're going to have
a legit tandem is solo
unless Raquel just dominates them.
Well, this is me fantasy booking. Well, not fantasy booking, but looking at it. If you have Dakota and Io win, then it'll be Raquel and Aaliyah because you have heel babyface. If you have Alexa and Asuka win, then to me you go Toxic Attraction because you have heel babyface. So whoever wins Monday night to me gives away the finish for the Friday night matchup. But Toxic Attraction was the right call to begin with.
Thing was.
I think
wasn't wrong.
And they didn't technically bring them up. They were still advertising them as NXT talent on the show.
Yeah.
So
Zoe was the one that got hurt, not Nikita.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of stuff online about it being Nikita being the one that was hurt.
I think Sean said, and it was probably just a kayfabe video of, I think Nikita wasn't medically cleared or something like that. So they were just giving a reason.
Zoe damn near broke her neck Tuesday night when Mandy tried that fucking press. I don't even know what to call that. Suplex, slam, whatever it was, but she landed right on top of her neck.
And she took that knee to the face at the end. Man, that looked vicious there.
I think that was more of a good sell job, but that fucking dump on
it looked
neck.
Good. It did. Yeah, the dump on the neck was bad.
Scary. All right, let's get into debate this because we've already gone long. All right. Oh, Chris, throw that up. Throw the comment up. Last comment there. Wow, there he is.
What's going on, man?
Long time no see. Perfect timing. You got in here just for debate this. So this week's list that we're going to debate, the 10 most important pay-per-view events of all time. Now, these aren't the 10 best pay-per-views, so on and so forth. So Donald sent a screenshot as far as the explanation for each one of these. We're not going to read the explanation for each one of these. That's too much time. We're not going to do that. But looking at each one of these pay-per-views, and we can give the Cliff Notes version based off the pay-per-view we select. In your estimation and in your eyes, what is the most important pay-per-view event of all time?
Probably WrestleMania.
To me, you have WrestleMania.
I would argue against WrestleMania because Clash of the Champions was first.
Yeah, but if WrestleMania didn't work.
Vince got the idea for WrestleMania from Clash.
Clash ain't on this
list. So if you don't have no Clash of the Champions, you don't have WrestleMania.
Yeah, but Clash of the Champions was on TBS, right? This was a different type of setup. Yes. This was, at the time, it wasn't pay-per-view. It was closed-circuit TV. So
a TV event.
You were going to...
If you don't have Clash...
Is that the night...
Vince doesn't have the idea for Mania.
It's the top of the ECW arena.
For me, I will go the Bash of the Beach 96 whenever Hogan turned. And the reason they gave that was Hogan's heel turn. He made heel characters cool to the fans. And that was breaking
Not that night.
It was breaking everything about kayfabe. They talk about like later on. Yeah, not that night. But later on, like everybody that's like a cool heel has been cool. And you can see the effects of that. Bullet Club being the biggest one.
that night led to the flooding of tears from the Hulkamaniacs around the globe.
That would be number 2.
Definitely, signified a change in wrestling with that pay-per-view.
It extended his career.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling was real to me then, and that
1,000%.
that crushed me.
Say your prayers, eat your vitamins. Just took a huge shit in the ring.
I share a meme every year. The reason I have trust issues, and I show a clip. It's a picture of Hogan turning.
Sorry, babe.
That still sticks with me.
And then number 2 for me will be All In.
Which one was the one they did just off of Spike?
All in was the bet.
That was the bet. Okay,
yeah. All in was the bet.
Okay, because you were saying Double or Nothing. I was when me and Dawn were talking about. You were saying Double or Nothing. I was thinking of All In. So, nix that. Okay.
I mean, yeah. Logical answer would say WrestleMania, obviously, because of what we know as WrestleMania now. I threw out the argument just based off of that, just for debate purposes. But yeah, I mean, Vince went all in, no pun intended there, with literally putting every single dime he had into that. And so if it doesn't go on, yeah, we don't know wrestling as of wrestling today. So logical looking at this, I would say, yes, that's the most important pay-per-view event of all time. Bash at the Beach 96, we went over that. All In, spurred to the new wrestling wars we have today.
I give All In 3. On my list.
I think Survivor Series 97.
Basically, not sure off the Attitude Era.
Where I would put it at, but if we don't get the Brett screwed Brett running Michaels out, the course of both companies, WCW and WWE, are completely different, and we may not have WWE today. Mm-hmm. That may have been the most important finish in wrestling, not necessarily important pay-per-view event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They said the reasons for Survivor Series was the Montreal Screwjob sent major players on drastic different paths, and the biggest being the creation of Mr. McMahon as a character.
Which is arguably the best heel character of all time in wrestling. So,
if you didn't have that, would you have had Austin McMahon?
Sure.
Or would you have would you have gotten Bret Hart longer in the business? Because then he doesn't go to the WCW and he doesn't get injured by Goldberg.
Yeah.
Who needs Bret longer in the business? Nobody.
FTR.
I think the only pay-per-view I haven't seen on here is When Worlds Collide. So it's like,
I mean, when Worlds Collide was All In before All In.
Yeah, it definitely. I get the significance of it, looking into it, but yeah, not watching it. I don't know. It's not what got me involved into those types of characters.
Did it spur anything? Did anything come from it?
Had they not done that, you probably wouldn't have seen the cruiserweight division the way it was in WCW or even ECW.
Yeah, and that's the reason they stated for the listeners. It's the first time Americans were exposed to Lucha Libre.
Okay,
and that's where you first saw Rey Mysterio, Eddie, Psychosis coming in, and all them.
Okay,
even the Wizard himself.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, good list. You make the argument for all these, or for a handful of these.
Nightstand 2005. I mean, that's one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time. Like that's one of my go-tos that I go back and rewatch.
To me, that is the greatest crowd at a pay-per-view ever.
Yes.
But like importance, I don't know where I put that really in actual importance.
I thought the explanation for importance was lackluster because the relaunch of ECW and WWE was a dumpster fire.
Yeah,
trying to make money off of a quote unquote dead brand,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, I mean, barely legal is more important than one night stand.
No. Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, we got another vote there. I don't know if he's serious or not, but 2005 Royal Rumble. I don't know why Dave selected that one. What the significance of it is there. I can't think off the top of my head.
Was that one? Was that Eddie or not? When Ray won the Rumble, or is that?
If that's the case, he's completely trolling you, Chris.
That's
I love
right.
I think 2000. I think 2004 was Benoit winning.
Was there anyone that you could think of that
Batista
wasn't
won.
on the list that you would put on the list?
It's hard because it's importance, you know.
Right, not best, not
best,
greatest
importance,
matches,
yeah.
like importance as far as the business is concerned.
Yeah. Like there's some of my favorite pay-per-views that I would put on like a list, but definitely not like importance.
I could see.
I'm okay with it.
I could see Wrestle Kingdom 9 because that was the first one that was offered pay-per-view wise in America.
Okay.
So for people who haven't seen New Japan, that was like one of their almost opportunities with Jeff Jarrett when he did GFW, because that's how I knew about New Japan.
Yeah.
It was the first time I started watching it was because of that Wrestle Kingdom.
2005 Rumble. That's when Vince blew both quads.
That was a double finish, right?
Yeah.
Double elimination.
Oh, that was Batista.
Dave,
So
I missed you, Dave.
Yeah. So that I could put that up there for me personally. You know, that's how I got into New Japan.
Good list. Good list. Hit us up on social media. Let us know which pay-per-view out of that list had the most importance in the world of pro wrestling. Everybody good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get into sports. All right. This week in sports, I guess the biggest news was the suspension decision on Deshaun Watson. 11 games, $5 million fine. Cleveland season is all but over. Sucks to be them. Move along to next year. Other than that, I don't got much to say about this.
Are they looking to Garoppolo?
No, they're going to roll with Jacoby.
They're roll with Jacoby. No need to trade assets to bring another quarterback. Just run with what you have.
You just traded Baker to Carolina, who had $18 million guaranteed. You're going to bring on Jimmy G, who has $20 million guaranteed. Unless he gets cut by San Fran, then maybe you sign him for league min. But other than that, you're not trading away for Jimmy G.
Yeah. I have nothing to say about the Deshaun Watson suspension or whatever. Everybody talked about it this week. It's old news to me now.
Steelers preseason game number 2. Kenny Pickett going to get some more work with the varsity, as Mike Tomlin likes to say. I caught the fourth quarter of last week's game. Pickett felt like a guy that fit in. He's a gamer. Stat line wise, it was very similar to what he did as like a freshman at Pitt. 2 or 3 incompletions, around 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like that's what he did at Pitt. I'm not so much interested in his stat line tonight as I am more about his presence on the field. Show me you can command the offense. Show me you can get out of checks. Show me you can make the right reads. The completion percentage, touchdown interception ratio, I'm not worried about all that right now. Show me that you have command and presence out there and can lead guys and get people in the right spots. Then I know we have a guy, because I think the rest of it will come. So I'll definitely tune in tonight for that.
I'm looking forward to the offensive line and defensive line because they did not look good the first preseason game. Defensive line looked terrible, just running up the middle like it was last year.
And you had no starters play at all, so there's a difference there. Cam Hayward, I believe he injured his ankle in practice this week, so I doubt he's playing tonight. You may get a little bit.
Yeah, pile up.
Yeah, they didn't look good. Splain didn't look good in pass coverage at all. Bush still looks like Bush. I mean, inside linebacker is going to be an issue too.
I threw this trade out there. I was at the barbershop this morning getting cleaned up. Got my 12-year anniversary coming up this week. Got to look right. Would you trade the Chicago Chase Claypool, Devin Bush, and a 4th-round pick for Roquan Smith?
No.
I would make that deal in a heartbeat.
Yes, I would. Because I don't think Claypool brings anything to the Steelers. That's me personally.
I think he does.
I don't.
I go DJ, George Pickens, Austin III, Sims, and Olszewski as a 5. I'm okay with not having Claypool there. George Pickens is my favorite Steeler right now. And it's not because of the toe tap catch that he made in the end zone, which was fantastic. It's the
blocking downfield.
Oh, the chippiness. Yeah, I'm gonna put you on your ass.
The actual receiver catching the ball.
Yeah. So I'm more than okay at making that deal. And if you had him in, if you had Miles Jack, Roquan Smith as your middle linebackers, T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, Minka. Let's go. So we'll see. That's fantasy booking. That'll never happen. Steelers won't make that type of move, but it is what it is there. Little League World Series kicked off out there in Williamsport, PA. I threw this out there as a question to you guys. As far as sporting events goes, what sporting event is on your bucket list that you have to go to in your lifetime?
Steelers Super Bowl. Has to be Steelers.
So it got to be a Steelers Super Bowl, just not any Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'd probably say Super Bowl because it's tough because, like World Series, you don't know where it's going to go, when it's going to really end. Same thing with Stanley Cup. Like whenever you're doing in NBA playoffs too, it's like whenever you're getting those, it's just a best of. So it's like to get a game, I'd probably say Super Bowl would be an awesome game.
And it doesn't have to be one, just like your bucket list, your bucket list sports list items.
I would love to experience a World Cup final just for the atmosphere for that. And since I'm a horse person, I've never been to the Kentucky Derby, so that would definitely be one on top. So those two. Well,
since you're traded your card in 95, you fit right in at the Derby.
I'm okay with that.
I'll go. Bucket list as far as me. I've thought about this, so don't let me get some money because I'm hitting all these up. I definitely want to go to the Little League World Series. Even though Williamsport is a really long drive from us, even though we're in the same state, it's like a 5-hour drive, 6-hour drive, whatever the case may be. So definitely want to go to Williamsport. I want to see a Liverpool game live in Liverpool. Want to go to a World Cup game. I have plans on going to the World Cup when they come to Philadelphia in 2026. So I'm hoping to check that bucket list item off. A WrestleMania or a Royal Rumble. Probably Royal Rumble because that's my favorite pay-per-view. And then a New Zealand All Blacks rugby game in New Zealand, preferably against the Springboks from Australia. That's my list.
Nice.
I'd have to put in Women's College World Series. That and if we're wrestling, I still haven't done a SummerSlam.
Wrestling will be a Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah. Wrestle Kingdom in Japan. Definitely on the bucket list.
Another Harlem Globetrotters game.
They'll be here at Christmas.
Yeah.
I prefer an N1 mixtape tour instead of Harlem Globetrotters.
For me, pro football wise, I like watching it on TV better than actually attending the games.
Yeah.
Pro football, NFL.
Yeah, the big house. I see college football. I'm more for going to the stadiums and in the atmosphere, not necessarily a game itself for college football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like the big house in Ann Arbor, definitely.
Yes.
Penn State for a whiteout, even though I hate Penn State with a passion. LSU at night
Mhm.
is a big one.
If the Orange Bowl was still there, that would have been one for Miami.
Florida State, Florida game, definitely on my list. So yeah, I'm more looking at the stadiums and the atmosphere than necessarily the matchups minus the Florida State, Florida.
Oh, and Virginia Tech, whenever they come out to enter Sandman, just being in that crowd.
I love Penn State, but I'd probably be the only guy in all black.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not wearing white. I'm gonna stick out like a sore thumb.
I'm gonna stick out.
My style
It's
sitting
me.
down. You guys are doing too much.
I'm too fat to wear all white. That don't work for chubby dudes. Like I gotta go slim. You see, me and Chris got the black on today, right?
I'm not the guy for like high value or high entertainment or high energy atmospheres. That's not me. So it kills my vibe. So
when Bobby went to Penn State, went to a lot of games up there. So did a whiteout game. Was there for Joe Pa's last game. Didn't know it at the time, but
what else did we have on the list for sports?
Oh yeah,
Ring of Honor or Ring
yes, yeah. The Pirates announced their first class for the Ring of Honor. I'll name it off real quick: Honus Wagner, Paul Warner, Lloyd Warner, Fred Clark, Jackie Becky, Max Carey, Pi Trainer, Roberto Clemente, Ralph Keener, Archie Vaughn, Willie Stargell, Bill Mazeroski, Josh Gibson, Ray Brown, Buck Leonard, Oscar Charleston, Dave Parker, Danny Mutar, and Steve Blass.
Where's Dre back?
We're just inducting everybody the first year?
19 people.
19.
First year.
19.
How do you not have Barry Bonds?
There is a huge gap there. Big void. No. Why ain't Barry Bonds there?
Oh, you not have Jay Bell.
And they're going by Pittsburgh Pirates.
Sid Bream.
Andy Van Slyke.
Mike Spanky LaValliere. I could do this all day. Chico Lean. We can go around the horn with this.
I knew that 90 through 92 team. I knew the lineup, everything. Tell you how much of a Pirate fan I was, and then something happened.
He didn't get an autograph.
Who hurt you?
Bonds is the biggest omission for me. He was in consideration as far as what was told to 93.7 The Fan here in Pittsburgh, but they decided against it. I mean, he was one of the greatest Pirates of all time. It was before steroids and everything else. Like
he had 3 MVPs before.
If you can't make the Hall of Fame, you can't make shit. Period.
Can't make all.
Okay.
No, I don't know all those names, but how many of those people are still alive on that list?
I don't know. I can't tell you. They said none. I think Dave Parker's still alive.
Where's Dick Groat? Did they hear him?
Well, Groat never played for the Pirates.
He didn't?
I don't know.
He was local here, but he didn't play for the Pirates.
I don't know.
I have a baseball sign by Dick Groat. Grew up with his grandson. So, but yeah, 19 people, like Jesus. How long is that induction speech ceremony going to take?
I know. But yeah.
What are they doing with this?
This
Are they just
from
black or
this from a hodgepodge of nothingness.
I'm not sure they're gonna do it like how the Cowboys do it, like have their name and numbers like around the stadium and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't follow the Pirates, so whatever to make money,
He only reported this because Bonds isn't in it. That was his only reason for bringing this up.
Tell them my business.
So there's an interesting story surrounding Coach Tomlin. And this is a little messy.
Fire Tomlin, hashtag.
No, you're out of your mind. Jay Glazer from Fox, one of the biggest insiders, in the industry tweeted out best thing / story I've seen so far on my camp tour. A little backstory. Coach Tomlin was driving in his car when he saw kids fighting in the street. Tomlin pulled over and spent time with the kids and stepped in and stopped the fighting. From then, he invited all the kids to training camp, where they got to meet Coach Tomlin and they were doing drills with Najee Harris. Great feel-good story, right? Although there was a quote tweet at 15% is kicking in. I won't put out the person's name who sent out the quote tweet. Jesus Christ. But
that's the title of next week's episode.
She said, "What a damn shame. People will say anything to sell a story. Character assassination of these young kids will not be tolerated. These young kids were rewarded with attending Steelers training camp for being model students and outstanding community members. Coach Tomlin has a relationship with these kids from the Jasmine Nairi campus, not from a fight in the streets. Jay Glazer has 24 hours to remove this story or my attorney will be contacting him."
Okay. I was expecting some PXI comments.
Okay.
This just goes into the what to believe, what not to believe, right? Social media reports, stories being tweeted out there. Jay Glazer, to my knowledge, is not like Adam Schefter where he just tweets out erroneous stuff. Did he get it wrong in this instance? Based off of that response tweet, I would say, yeah, he got it wrong.
It's like Najee sleeping on the floor.
There has been no response from Tomlin or Najee or the Steelers as a whole based off of the messiness that this story can create and the false narrative that may be out there or may not be out there surrounding these kids. I feel like the Steelers, Tomlin, or Najee need to step in and give a response to this story. Am I wrong for expecting that from them?
No, got to say something.
No.
Yeah, because this is two ends of the spectrum. Two ends.
I think when you're talking about kids and that type of narrative, if there's any rebuttal to Glazer's reporting surrounding the events that happened, that transpired, that led these kids to be invited to training camp to meet Coach Tomlin, be on the field working out with Najee and him and everything else, the Steelers as an organization and even Mike Tomlin owe those kids to come out and say what happened and put the truth out there.
So you got all the parents' contact information off of a fight? All of them?
Or he just took them in their car and just drove them up the camp.
That's kidnapping.
Yes, it is. Back when we was growing up, that was kind of okay. Now it's not.
To my knowledge, to this point, I haven't seen whether or not Glazer has pulled the story down or deleted the tweets. I haven't seen a response or rebuttal to what the individual, I don't know if she's a parent of one of these students or she works at the camp that was referenced in her tweet, but I haven't seen any back and forth from that. I just thought I saw this and I was like, oh, this is a really good story, like feel good story. And then the response tweet came out and I was like, oh, this took a hard right real quick.
Maybe they were at the camp fighting. Can't tell.
I don't know, but this is where, and we see this a lot in pro wrestling with stuff that's tweeted out there right away with the fake stories, the false narrative, not 100% true, don't have facts straight and everything else. When you're rushing to be first to report something, those ethics and checks and balances that you take kind of go by the wayside to be first. So, I mean, Schefter's the biggest example of doing this and getting shit wrong and, having to retract or restate or apologize. And he's been buried more times than an insider should that still has a freaking job.
Undertaker, man. You just sit back up.
Yeah.
One of us do that, boy. New job.
Right.
Off the first wrong one.
But it's just a story that I'm going to keep an eye on just because of the local ties here in Pittsburgh. I know everybody else listening doesn't give two shits, but it is what it is.
You want to go outside and start a fight?
Hey, if it gets me to training camp so I can, interact with Coach T and do some ladder drills with Najee, I'm all for it.
Grown ass men slap boxing in the street.
Anything else before we get into one gotta go?
No, I'm good.
All right, let's hit it. All right. What were the results from last week's One Gotta Go Rap Beef edition? And Chris, even though you didn't participate, I guess you can read off the results.
The top two, which were pretty much the only two that got the votes, we had Cannabis and LL Cool J, and Ja Rule and 50 Cent. Which one did people vote
those
off?
were the top two. They got LL and Cannabis. Wow. Ja Rule.
Names, man. Ja Rule's got to go.
That'll be Ja Rule.
Ja Rule. That was by one. They got it by one.
I won.
You say J Rule?
Ja Rule.
Of course he did. White guy. Yeah. What do we got for this week?
He's actually going to be up in Erie tonight too, performing.
Yeah, J Rule. He's handing out cheese sandwiches.
These is hard to come by now. So Fortnite this week dropped their Dragon Ball Z line, which is causing a lot of uproar. So I decided to go with what are the one gotta go Battle Royale video games.
And
I'm
so
sure
I'll go first. The only one on here that I've played was Call of Duty. So for me, that's staying on the list. Fortnite's huge. Probably not going to get voted off. I don't know anything about C&D. So if I'm flipping a coin based on name alone, I'll keep Apex Legends and get rid of Player Unknown's Battlegrounds.
Have you heard of PUBG?
No.
No? Okay. Well, that's what that goes by. But I'm surprised being an Xbox guy because that's their. That's pretty much.
You gotta remember, like I just got back into gaming again. So like, if these have been out for a while, Fortnite don't have PlayStation, so but.
Ask your son. I want to see his take.
You don't need You don't need PlayStation just for Fortnite, right? Because it's available on.
It's everybody.
It's everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
it is everybody. Okay, well there you go. Yeah. So, yeah.
Is that still as popular as it was? Because it was really hot for a minute.
It's still. I mean, I don't see why, but it's still popular.
Look, the last time I played one of these games, it was New Year's Eve, about 3 a.m. We got done celebrating my birthday, and we had 40s and brown paper bags theme parties. Keeping it real and legit hood. But I died like 9,000 times, and I had one kill, and I had a bunch of 10-year-olds laughing at me. So
were you by yourself, or were you with somebody?
No, my son had me on the game till like 4 a.m, and he was probably like 7, 8 years old at the time.
And 10 times
I was so drunk. I was so drunk I didn't realize what time it was or whatever. But yeah, I just kept getting murked and respawn and die. I had one kill and like 900 deaths.
For me, I don't play the genre of video games at all. I played probably Fortnite like 2 times and it was terrible. The Call of Duty is not Modern Warfare; it's actually Warzone. So
no, but
they got a Modern Warfare Battle Royale. Yeah. I thought it was just Warzone.
It's the Warzone edition.
Okay.
Yeah. Before you come at me.
Call of Duty, everybody plays. Fortnite, everybody plays. PUBG was like the original, I'm guessing. Because again, I'm not familiar with this genre. I know people play that. Apex Legends, I never heard of anybody play that. So I'll kick that off. I'll be the one to go.
Played Call of Duty Stand. I'm still ass at it, but I played Apex. It was okay. I've never played PUBG. because I'm not an Xbox guy, but Fortnite got to go. I enjoyed it for like one game, but that building process, I can't get with it. It's too much.
I'm going to be pretty simple on this. The only game I've played on here is Call of Duty, and I'm not a Call of Duty fan, so Call of Duty can go. Never played the other three, but Call of Duty can go.
You should have dropped yourself off again this week. That fucking take.
I'll get some votes on this because a lot of my what Jason said, a lot of my friends.
That's why I did it. Yeah. I knew we wouldn't have been. We were out of touch.
Yeah. No. Wrong era here.
I don't think I got a kill on Warzone yet.
Takes up too much memory on the system. I'm not dodownloading all that.
Bro, I jumped out of a plane and literally died by a helicopter blade, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this game.
It is. It's like 100 gigs. Like like an update. Nah, they can have that.
Final thoughts.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to episode 100 of the Dumb Marks podcast. Can't believe we finally got here. Tune in a couple more weeks. We'll be celebrating our 2-year anniversary. Support the show by buying some more merchandise at prowrestlingtees.com/dumbmarkspod. You can head over to dumbmarkspod.com and find the links for any of our audio-only editions and all previous episodes and all the links and more for social and all that fun stuff. Guys, before we wrap things up and do quote of the week, what do we got left in final thoughts?
I got 2 things, so if you guys got anything else, you can go ahead and I'll say my 2.
I got nothing.
Nothing.
Did you
First
have
things
one of
first.
your 2 things, the Ferris Bueller? Or?
No, but you can bring that up. I had two other things besides that. I thought you would bring that up. So if you want to get into that first, we can.
All right. So Steve sent over yesterday that they announced that there's going to be a Ferris Bueller spinoff. So it's not a sequel. It's just going to be like a spinoff, which at first whenever I saw it, I was like, okay, if we're going to redo this, I don't know how I feel about it. But it's going to be a take about Sam and Victor's day off. So if you remember watching Ferris Bueller, if you're around that age or whatever, when they went into Chicago, the parking attendants took the car for a joyride. So this movie is going to explore what happened while they took the car for a joyride.
Well, I don't know if it's a movie or if it's a series. They weren't.
Okay.
I didn't get the clarity on that, but the writers
just said a spinoff. So yeah, that's
what caught my attention, and the biggest thing as far as why I'm interested in seeing this is because it's from the writers from Cobra Kai.
Okay.
And with how well done they've made the Cobra Kai series, with the nostalgia and the tie-ins and everything else, I'm excited to watch this Ferris Bueller spinoff, whether it's a movie or a series. Going over the time of the valets that took the car and what they encountered on their adventure, so to speak. So,
if you do that more often, I'd probably be more inclined to watch. If you gave me side stories from somebody else and not just a
reboot of the same movie?
Yeah.
Fun fact, I never saw Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
That doesn't surprise me.
No, it doesn't. But you're missing out on one of the greatest movies in American cinema history.
I can't even tell you how many times I watched that movie.
It ain't
tremendous.
That was one of my sister's favorites. So not only was it her favorite, so she watched it a lot. I enjoyed it too, so I would watch it. It's one of those movies that it was used to play on TV all the time. So it's like if it was on, you just threw it on.
Right. 2 quick things for me. One, if you are not familiar with Manti Teo and the catfish that was catfishing before catfishing, go on Netflix and watch the story about Manti Teo and the girlfriend that never was. Tremendous, very well done. Really crazy to see how it happened and why it happened, and the fact that he was caught up in this and believed it 100%. Like, it is fascinating to watch. So if you are bored looking for something to tune into, go on Netflix, Watch the doc. It's tremendous.
Is it just like a one episode doc, or is it a series?
No, it's just I think it's like almost 2 hours long.
Yeah. Because my mom was asking me about it. She was like, "Oh, is this real?" And I looked at it. I was like, "Oh yeah, it's real."
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, "It's real."
I remember when that went down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2012. But
I thought it was longer than that.
Predominant athlete of the time, was arguably, in the Heisman, one of the best college football players ever. And this story leaked before the draft and basically assassinated his football career. But yeah, if you're looking at something to watch that's entertaining, holy shit, like it's a good go-to for sure. So tune in for that. And then this won't really mean much to others outside of the Pittsburgh area, but since all four of us are here, I saw a thing that said Yinzer birth food. Okay. So based on your birth month, you are associated with a specific food here in the Pittsburgh area. All right. So we're going to go around the horn here. Jay, what month were you born?
I'm not a Yinzer, but September.
All right. So September, you have Southside
Turner's.
Pretzel Shop. you have the Southside Pretzel Shop for
Never
September.
been.
Donald?
September.
Southside Pretzel Shop. Chris, you're August. You have Potato Patch Fries.
I saw that this week. Yep.
Bullshit.
I'm December, and I think I got the best deal out of everything that's on this list. I got the cookie table. Those of you that don't live in Pittsburgh or have not grown up here, if you are not familiar with what a cookie table is, any wedding that takes place in Pittsburgh, they have what is known as a cookie table.
Okay.
And what that is literally a 25 to 30, sometimes 40-foot long table that is just filled with cookies. Every single cookie you could possibly imagine.
Mm-hmm.
There are to-go plates for the cookies. They are handed out, nice boxes. Some of them are even insigniaed with the bride and groom's initials if you go to a rich yuppie wedding. But I will tell you one thing. The greatest cookie table that I've ever been to was a congressman's son's wedding, and it was tremendous. I ate cookies for like 3 weeks. It was phenomenal. Unbelievable.
And if you're any part Italian like Steve and I are, it's usually just an insane amount of cookies too.
Exactly.
I've been to snack tables.
So yes,
the snack table, candy tables.
I saw candy tables.
Yeah, I've been to a cookie table though.
Yeah, one of our good friends had a candy table.
Speaking of weddings,
hold on. Before you say that, I'm just going to run through the list real quick of the Pittsburgh food ties that were associated with birth months.
I got to add on to this too.
January was Permanis. February, Mike and Tony's gyros. March was the Pittsburgh steak salad with the fries on top. April, City Chicken. May, pierogies. June, Isley's barbecue chipped ham sandwiches. July, Page Dairy Mart. August, Potato Patch. September, Southside Pretzel Shop. October was Fiore's Pizza. November, Triangle Hoagie. And then December was the cookie table.
I'll take mine for August.
Any Pittsburgh food institution that was not on this list that you would replace something that's on here with? I think they did a pretty solid job.
I think
I'd eliminate half that shit just for ketchup.
You're out of your mind.
I think they got it spot on.
What's Turner's on there?
No, Turner's was not on there.
Turner's is not a food.
It's food.
Turner's is the drink.
You guys see live off of it.
Turner's is the food. Turner's is the drink. A drink, not a food.
They did the cookie table, but they didn't do like Oakmont Bakery or Prantle's Bakery or anything like that.
No,
like,
just
you could have done like the Prantle's like almond tort. That could have been something. So you know how like every day something like you talk for that for the calendar, but like every day is like national this day, national that day.
Mm-hmm.
So last week I was just like, I don't know what my birthday is. My birthday was this past Wednesday. I don't know what my birthday is for National Day. I was like, I'm going to look that shit up. I was like, maybe they'll give me an idea of what to do on my birthday, like go somewhere to eat or drink something. I have to have the worst day in the history of national days. There's three national things that day. It's National Massachusetts Day, How is that a national day?
Great.
How isn't that just statewide?
I love Massachusetts. Getting me through it.
2, National Nonprofit Day.
If your charitable contributions go to nonprofits to make the world a better place, that's a good thing.
Do that
Sounds
Cyber
like-
Monday whenever everybody else does it for the donation. Not August 17th. And then it's National Thrift Shop Day. I have the worst national days. I could have got like National Margarita Day or something like that, like National Long Island Iced Tea Day. Like, give me something that I could have drank.
I mean,
one person's trash is another person's treasure.
As we all know, as Macklemore said, I forget the words to the song. Something about a thrift shop. I don't remember. It was a white guy making a rap about a thrift shop, and it charted #1 on the billboards. Go figure.
I really don't have any good days either, so
I'm gonna look mine up real quick because
That's what we're doing. We're all doing that.
I have launch day. That's one. I have.
Would you put in the search?
I just put September 10th World Day.
I did National Calendar Day. That's what popped up.
I have World A Day, World Suicide Prevention Day, National Hot Dog Day.
See, there you go. You got
also
something.
Also in July. So it's coming around 3 times a year.
At least you get hot dogs.
National Day of Remembrance for Aborted Children.
So
great.
So I wonder, is mine's trying to tell me something? Mine's is National Bald is Beautiful Day.
Hell yeah. I would have been pissed, but I would have accepted it.
and National Peanut Day.
Okay.
There you go.
You got something.
So
far, your lists are better than mine.
I must be on the wrong search engine.
I mean, yours is just
I have no idea.
yeah, man, yours is just a party.
It's just Steve's birthday.
It's just a party. That's all it is.
When is your birthday? Is it the last day or the first day?
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve? Oh, you don't get
like I said, it's a party.
You don't get nothing.
It's just
Hold on. I think I might have found it.
Oh, you got a couple good things.
Well, of course. Let's see here.
You're the first one on there. I would take.
What are you looking at?
I'm on nationaldaycalendar.com. Shout out to them.
You got Champagne Day? Is that on there?
Yeah, that's National.
It would be National Champagne Day. National Firework Day. National Blow Your Air Horn Day. National Shoot Guns in the Air Day.
You also got a Universal Hour of Peace. So there you go. Make Up Your Mind Day.
Make Up Your Mind Day. That's not good. National Champagne Day. New Year's Eve, Universal Peace. Yeah, that
Time Adjustment Day.
That list sucks.
No Interruption Day. I would love that.
I would love that too. Yeah.
Again, all three of you have better list than I, because you at least have something to celebrate on there.
He said no interrupted day. Somebody tried to talk to you. Shoo!
Don't bother me. That could be your day, Steve.
When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut.
All right. Anybody got anything else before we wrap it up and take it home?
Do it, man.
Again, thanks for tuning in. Email us, hit us up on social media, prowrestlingtees.com/dumbmarkspod. Buy some merch. We'll give you a shout out live on air. We appreciate all the love and support. Coming up on 2 years now. We're looking forward to it. Got to figure out some way to celebrate and do something big for that show. So we'll see. Maybe we'll all get a 4-pack of the 15% blueberry ale and just go to town with it.
Real quick.
You good?
September 4th through the 10th is National Biscuits and Gravy Day, or Gravy Week. Just so you guys
National
know.
Biscuits and Gravy Week.
We should celebrate.
Where do you rank biscuits and gravy?
Where do you what?
Where do you rank biscuits and gravy?
Not
I've had them like once or twice. Good though.
Is it a breakfast food or is it a dinner food?
Breakfast for me.
Breakfast.
Brunch?
Yeah. Reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah.
National
If you're at the
Walking Week.
buffet and they have biscuits and gravy, is that the first thing you're putting on your plate?
What buffet am I at?
No.
Brunch buffet.
You go with the standards first. Always go with the standards, and then you dive off.
If I'm
So
in
how
the
far
South,
down the list before you go to biscuits and gravy?
Never. I don't eat this stuff.
That'd be
so,
next.
it depends on the place. If how good it looks. If I'm going in there and it looks like that gravy hasn't been stirred in 5 hours, I ain't
That's the
touching that
best.
shit.
That's the best kind. Get the skin on top.
I think biscuits and gravy is like a Southern thing. Like we talked about IHOP and Waffle House. I could be wrong, but I would prefer much more having Southern biscuits and gravy than a Northern thing.
Oh,
You gotta
absolutely.
You gotta punch the spoon through. It's good.
Like you get it from a place where they're making that gravy fresh for each one, for each order. Yeah,
Liquid heart attack.
100%.
Hey.
Isn't that all Southern food?
Absolutely. All right. Anybody got anything else?
Yeah.
All right. So this week's quote of the week: the loudest boos will always come from the cheapest seats. People who invest the least in you will have the most to say about you. Trust your work and keep your circle tight.
Haven't met wrestling fans.
I'm your biggest hater.
Haters gonna hate, and typically the hate is coming from somebody that's below you and not above you. Because if they're above you, they're trying to pull you up to get on their level. So ignore the boos. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing forward and level up. You'll get there eventually. And with that being said, I'm a Mark, you're a Mark, Telemark. And until next time, y'all can catch us around the way.